calling all my footy fans from all around the globe. Straight out of NYC, this is The Line Breaker.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to The Line Breaker. I'm Pano.
I'm Dimitri, aka Juicy.
And yeah, we're still doing episodes. Yeah, we're doing another episode. This is technically episode 3, even though we had a mini episode. I'm gonna count the mini episode as episode 2. So yeah, this is episode 3 of season 2. We're into a new season, and look, we started things off by giving you a little bit of a Euros episode. So now naturally, we got to give you a Copa America episode. That's what we're talking about today, right, Dimitri?
Yes, that's what we are talking about.
So yeah. I mean, look, we're very excited because we got a summer of soccer, a summer of football. Got Copa America and Euros. We're recording this on the Thursday before the Euros kicks off. Does Copa America also start tomorrow?
No, I think it starts in a week from tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Well, there is that. So we're basically talking to you guys a week out from Copa America. The Euros starts tomorrow. Very exciting. And yeah, we're just going to do a little Copa America preview and predictions for the tournaments, for the tournament. And yeah, you know, we might even get into some drama. Definitely's been some drama this week between what I've been doing on X, formerly known as Twitter, and what Dimitri has been doing. So yeah. Without further ado, do you just want to get right into it?
Yeah, kick us off since I went first for the Euro episode.
Did you go first?
I did.
Oh.
I'm the leader of the pack.
Are you? I didn't even know that.
Well, now you do. Kick us off.
Would you say that you're the alpha?
Okay. It's not that type of podcast. But kick us off for Group A.
Group A. Oh, I also want to keep note of the fact that this Copa America is in the USA, which is awesome. Are we going to catch any games?
Maybe.
Yeah, we might have to get tickets. So yeah, this is in the USA, and there are 4 guest teams who are going to be competing in this. Is it 4 or 5? Oh, no, it's 5. There's 5. Is it 5? 1, 2, 3, 4.
USA, Mexico,
5?
Canada, Costa Rica.
6. There's 6. Yeah. So there's 6 guest teams playing from CONCACAF in this Copa because obviously CONMEBOL, the South American Federation, is not super big. So they usually have guest teams come and play. And we are lucky enough, with it being in the USA and everything, we have the USA, Canada, Jamaica, Mexico, Panama, and Costa Rica all joining us, or all joining us to be in this Copa. So, you know, making some tasty groups. Let's kick things off now. First group, Group A. Group A consists of Argentina, the reigning champions, and the bookies' favorites for the tournament, Canada, Chile, and Peru. What are your thoughts on this group?
Oh, you want me to go first?
Oh, no, I could go first too. You know what?
I'll give you with the hardest decision selection for me in this group. I had to come to terms with this. I've been thinking about it, looking through the squads, thinking, you know, which team's gonna finish where, and I think the hardest thing that I figured out was I don't know if this is a hot take or not. I think Argentina's gonna top the group.
I was having them last. But yeah, Argentina are not only the favorites for this tournament, not that that means anything. They are the favorites for this tournament, and I mean, obviously they're the favorites to win this group. It's pretty obvious. They're very easily the top dog in this group. It's not even close. Do I go through the names, the riches in their lineup? I mean, they got a great squad. Obviously, They just won the World Cup too, so they're the reigning Copa champions. They're reigning world champions. They still have Lionel Messi in the team. Obviously backed with talent like Angel Di Maria. I'm gonna forget names because there's so many.
Rodrigo De Paul, Julian
that
Alvarez,
that's who you thought of first. Rodrigo
Romero,
De Paul,
Emi Martinez,
Enzo Fernandez.
They're deep.
Obviously
McAllister, Enzo.
Emiliano Martinez has been one of the best goalkeepers in the entire world. Lisandro Martinez is back from injury. Got guys like Christian Romero, Gonzalo Montiel, Marcus Acuna, Nicholas Tagliafico's not that good. Barco, who hasn't really had a great time at Brighton, but still a talent. Alexis McAllister, Giovanni Lo Celso, Angel Correa, Alejandro Garnacho. How could we forget?
The team is deep.
Lautaro Martinez, Nico Gonzalez. So yeah, a lot of talent on this team, and not much talent for the rest of the teams in this group. Do you have? You know what? No, I'm not gonna ask you if Argentina is your favorite. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty obvious first place for this group, right? I don't even think we have to go too much farther into it.
I think you went deep enough. I think Argentina is the clear favorite.
And I might sound crazy saying this, but I think Canada is the obvious second place team.
Ooh.
I mean, look, for those of you, no, you wouldn't know because the line breaker did not exist then. I was big on Canada during the World Cup. Like, obviously, then they were terrible. I'm still high on Canada, and actually, I think that there's more reasons to be high on Canada. Overall, I think they have a good team. They got Alphonso Davies. Who else? Tejan Buchanan. I think Kone is a decent player. Eustachio is a decent player. You got guys like Jonathan David in the squad as well, who are good players. So yeah, I mean, I just think overall this is a solid Canada team with some good pieces. I know you could argue, oh, it's big names, not actually like good players, but I think they got a good squad. Kyle Larin, not that he's like super big right now, but still. I know that they just got demolished by the Netherlands, but for the sake of everyone, let's not look too far into international friendlies for prep for this tournament, right? Can't look too far into it, I think. I hope.
You might have to, but
we'll get into that later. So I think Canada finished the second in this group. I think CONCACAF is going to make a good showing at this tournament. I really think that they are.
I think outside of the U.S., I don't see any of the CONCACAF teams really pulling through. Personally, I have Canada finishing third and Peru sneaking into that second place spot.
Is Peru not last place in CONMEBOL right now?
Yeah, they've been getting off to a rough start for their World Cup qualifying, but I think they're gonna figure it out. They got a good squad put together, a lot of players in Europe, and I just think the Canadian team, outside of the few players, it won't really do much damage. And then I think Chile's on its way out. Wasn't the team that it used to be like 10 years ago.
They're dead last.
Yeah,
they're dead last in their CONMEBOL group, and Chile is eighth out of 10. There are 10 teams in CONMEBOL. Chile's 8th, Peru's 10.
Well, listen, that doesn't tell the story for the Copa America.
Yeah, and again, I mean, if it's up to me, I hope that the second half of CONMEBOL goes very differently, for some teams at the top and some teams at the bottom. If you know what I mean. We'll get into that. We'll get into my hate watching. So yeah. Look, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going Argentina first, Canada second, Chile third, Peru fourth. Like that. That's it. That's what I'm doing.
I see. I don't have faith in that Canadian team.
I have faith in Alphonso Davies and Jonathan David. And Tejan Buchanan, Syracuse University's finest. New York, baby. How you doing?
I don't know if I see it.
You want to hear a really cool story? I might have told you about this. A cool story about Tejan Buchanan. So he obviously is from Canada. You know, well, that was a dumb thing to say. Obviously, he's from Canada, but he had most of his soccer education done in the U.S. So believe it or not, he actually I don't know if it was his coach in Canada. The Canadian youth circuit at that time was not very competitive, so he had to go to the States, and his coach for his team actually moved to Colorado to for like another coaching gig, I guess. I guess he was offered a good coaching gig at like a big academy in Colorado, and Tejan wanted to follow him basically so that he could play a higher level of soccer than what he had. Believe it or not, actually, the guy was the coach was Greek. Believe it or not, the coach is Greek or Cypriot, one of those. I could probably find it. Chris Chrysanthou. So I'm gonna go with he was Cypriot, and he was actually legally adopted. Like he became like or not legally adopted. He became like the guardian or whatever for Tejan, so that he could live with him in Colorado. So he was basically like he lived. Oh, it was his best friend's father. Okay, with his best friend. So I guess his best friend is Cypriot too, Greek. So he lived with them in Colorado when he moved, so that he could play at a high level academy there. Isn't that interesting?
It's pretty interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool little story. So yeah, he literally lived in, and then obviously then he got his big break, and he went to Syracuse University. He did very well there, and then yeah, that's when he made his breakthrough into the MLS with New England Revolution. Then moved to Club Brugge, and now he's at Inter Milan. Kind of cool little story. That's my tangent, and because of that, Canada second. Let's go. That's what we're doing. So yeah, I think that's that group sorted, right?
Yeah.
You think so? Yeah.
Yep.
All right. You got to lead us in the second group.
The second group, I think, is a little dicey between three teams. Some drama going on with Jamaica.
This whole group for me is going to be agenda driven, but go ahead.
So, I think it's just going to be a battle between three teams for the top two spots, and Jamaica finishing at the bottom. One, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I feel like Jamaica finishes at the bottom. From some of the news that we've heard from Leon Bailey, I feel like the whole situation is just a mess.
You want to start with that?
Supposedly that the Jamaican team put out the roster that included him, but he posted on Instagram, I believe, that
shortly after.
Yeah, and saying misleading information, and then he I guess retired from the team.
So for some backstory as to why this is even a thing, I believe it was a few months ago, maybe during the winter, Leon Bailey basically announced that he was retiring, I think, or he announced it after, but he definitely criticized the Jamaican Football Federation, saying that it was super unprofessional and it was a mess and it was a circus, whatever. And because of that, he did not wish to be called up anymore. Yeah, that's what it was. So he effectively announced his retirement from international football, which, mind you, is pretty hilarious because I think he could have played for a few other nations. I think he could have played for Germany because that's where he spent a lot of his career, and I want to say England he was technically eligible for. Either way, kind of funny. So he went to Jamaica, and it doesn't surprise me that the Reggae Boys don't have the most organized federation. So he I guess he got called up again, and clearly he didn't want to be called up. So I'm going to assume that Leon Bailey is not in this tournament. I'm going to assume that.
Yeah, it seems like a whole sus situation behind the scenes. I feel like there's more that we don't know about.
I don't think that's the end of the world for the Jamaican team. I mean, I still think that they have quality, and I'm assuming if he truly is not going to be called up, I'm going to assume that someone like a Amari Hutchinson from Chelsea, who was on loan at Ipswich Town, believe it or not, this past year, he just got promoted with Ipswich Town. He's a right-footed, left-footed inside right forward kind of thing. Also, like, you know, that kind of deal. So I can see him taking Leon Bailey's place potentially. So they still have some quality. There is a big English revolution happening right now in Jamaica, where, you know, they have English guys who are of Jamaican descent, but, you know, they're born in England, like Mikel Antonio, Damari Gray, for instance. Those are good examples. Ethan Pinnock from Brentford, Casey Palmer from Coventry City, Bobby De Cordova Reed from Fulham. So, you know, they're using the diaspora of, you know, they're really, what's the word that I'm looking for? They're really tapping into that. That's the word. They're tapping into that. So they have gotten more quality than they used to, which is, you know, a good thing, obviously, for Jamaica. I still don't think that they have enough to do much in this group, but do we really want to say that Mexico is going to finish second in this group?
I think Mexico finished second.
I think so too, but I hope that they don't. I hope they finish third. And we haven't even started about the other guys.
By the way, only the top 2 teams progress out of the group. There's no third place, best third place teams in the Copa America.
This isn't like the Mickey Mouse tournament, the Euros, right? Where do I start on Ecuador? I mean, listen, Ecuador, I think, is basically entering their golden generation. As long as these guys stay fit and, like, you know, they're all good, I think Ecuador is going to be a force in CONMEBOL for sure. Like, forget about Moises Caicedo. We have Kendry Paez of, right now, he's of Independiente Valle, and he just got bought by Chelsea. So when he turns 18, he's going to go to Chelsea. He's a phenomenal talent. He made his debut for Ecuador at 15. I think he's 16 or 17 right now. He might be 16. And he's balling out. He's a phenomenal player. He's going to be at this tournament. I think, you know, again, as long as he stays healthy, I think he's going to star in it. And that's just me going with, like, midfielders. Forget about the fact that they have an Invincible on their roster. How could I forget? Or no, I'm not forgetting, obviously. But they have Piero Hincapié of Bayer Leverkusen, who was, you know, that left-sided center back that worked very well in Xavi Alonso's system. He's a huge part of what they want to do. Big talent. He's very young. I believe he's in his low 20s. I forget the exact age. And I wouldn't be surprised if he is at a bigger club within the next couple of years if Leverkusen don't kick on. So you have guys like that. Where else do I go with these guys? I mean, who else can I go with? I'm looking here. We said Caicedo. We said Paez. They have Ener Valencia.
Safe to say you have them winning the group? Walking the group?
Walking the group. I think they finish first. I think they get 7 points.
And you think Mexico finishes second, but you want them to finish third?
Yeah, because they're L tree. Emphasis on the letter L.
Who finishes last?
Venezuela.
Oh,
I know that's harsh.
That is harsh.
That is very harsh. How's Venezuela doing in
I feel like this group is also very competitive. I just think the whole mess behind the scenes and within the Jamaican Soccer Federation, I think it's
Venezuela's
going to be a mess.
Venezuela's fourth right now. Oh, you know what?
It's tough.
What if Venezuela is better than Mexico?
That's also a possibility. Have them third, finishing third, but I think Mexico can get the job done. I also feel like they're gonna have a ton of support, being a neighboring country of the U.S. They're gonna have a ton of support at these games.
I mean, they basically always have home fans in the U.S. So yeah.
So that's gonna be a big help to them, and that might push them over the line in this group to just get by and come in second place.
I'm overthinking this now. Now I'm thinking like way more about this now. This is tough. Look, Mexico. Do I just? Oh, Venezuela has a guy from Anorthosis, Famagusta. They have a defender. Christian Macun. Lit. Let's go. Do they have any guys playing in Europe? Oh, they have a guy who plays for Girona and Toulouse. Okay. Vizela is in Portugal. All right. It's looking good.
It's not a bad squad. Not a bad squad at all.
Rondon, Solomon Rondon. You know what? All right, this is what I'm gonna say about Mexico. One, their best player isn't even Mexican. Santiago Jimenez was born in Argentina. He's naturalized, so there's that. Secondly, Mexico, if the U.S. is in their golden generation, Mexico is in their garbage generation.
Wow.
Mexico, look, the top dogs in CONCACAF, in the future, it will be the U.S. and Canada. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Mexico, if they could feed off the scraps of the guys who from the U.S. who switch over to Mexico, yeah, maybe they'll be all right. If Mexico does get stronger again, it's probably because the academy system in the U.S. just keeps getting better, and they, guys switch over to Mexico who are talented, but maybe don't think they're going to get into the U.S. team. But right now, this Mexico team, from what I read, it seems like the federation is a mess too. But overall, there's not a lot of talent here. Once you look past Jimenez, there's not a lot of talent. Obviously, Jimenez has had a fantastic season at Feyenoord, but I don't see much else in here. Looking past, what's his face, Edson Alvarez. There's not much here. There's really not much here. Do you want me to go a little crazy right now?
Go crazy. What do you mean?
Ecuador first.
Okay.
Venezuela second.
Oh, okay.
Mexico third.
Oh.
No, you know what? No. Jamaica third.
Oh, being harsh towards Mexico.
Mexico fourth.
Wow.
There might be riots. There might be riots at MetLife.
He is hating on this Mexican team.
Final answer.
Wow. I don't know where all this hate comes from, but
that's my final answer. Ecuador, Venezuela, Jamaica, Mexico.
Guess we'll just have to see, but I don't know. Mexico's quality, in my opinion, and I think.
Where's the quality?
I think they're going to come out of this group. Oh, they don't have to be they're not playing a couple powerhouses. They have a competitive group, but nothing crazy over the top. And I think they have the quality and the talent to come in second place and squeeze out.
L Tree.
Oh, here we go.
Big fat L Tree. All right, so that's Group B. I think we spent a long time on that one. Ecuador. It's my new favorite team from South America who have red, yellow, and blue in their flag. Why do all these countries have the same flag?
I don't know.
All right, we got to get into that after, once we get to the other country that has that same flag. All right, Group C. The group of death.
Oh, okay. Take us away.
Bolivia, Estados Unidos, Panama, y Uruguay. My cousin-in-law is Uruguayan. Fun fact. That's it. That's all I got for you.
Okay.
You want me to talk about this group? Well, Bolivia can't play at home, so they're done.
Yeah, can't play in the mountains.
They can't. Christian Pulisic doesn't have to wear an oxygen mask
at halftime.
So we could agree that they're gonna finish last.
Oh, I don't know about last. That's harsh.
Bolivia?
Oh, behind Panama?
Oh yeah, that's true.
That was harsh.
But Bolivia can't play at home.
That was harsh. I don't know. I have Panama as clear last in this group. I felt like that was a little harsh.
Dare you say there's a canal between them and the other three?
Oh man.
Woohoo. So the U.S. is gonna top this group, right?
No.
Okay, Juicy's been hyping up Uruguay. He's telling me because of Darwizzi and Luis Suarez that they're gonna go crazy in this tournament.
They got a deep squad.
So do you think that they're dark horses?
I wouldn't call them dark horses if they're like the third favorite to win the tournament.
They are the third favorite, yeah.
But I will say that I think that's a little misleading, and I actually think they have a better shot at it than Brazil.
No, they don't. No
yeah,
way.
they do.
No, they don't.
I think right behind Argentina should be Uruguay.
All right, how about this? You're big on them. Talk me through highlights of the squad.
Well, I think you have a great striking partnership, which I think it kind of like feeds off of the Cavani-Suarez partnership. Although I don't know if Suarez is going to start, so I don't know how they're gonna go out. But again, Darwin Núñez is very similar in the sense that he's a workhorse, fast, physical. You know, he's big. He has like a Cavani build, and he's kind of like a mix of Suarez and Cavani when it comes to like the physical attributes and the legs.
We could also say that physicality in the forward line is going to be important for this.
Well, I think physicality in the whole tournament is going to be important in the Copa America.
Yeah,
there are tackles every minute, everywhere.
Yeah, there's no friendly games, but also specifically for this Uruguay team, because you want to remind me what very famous coach is the coach of this team?
Marcelo Bielsa.
So, yeah, obviously Bielsa is big on high-intensity footy. You're going to need chaos players, like Ugarte. Bentancur can play that way. You need absolute monsters like Jimenez and Araujo.
You have Valverde, too. You have experience in this team.
You got good players overall. We got Darwizzi up top. It's a good team. I agree. There's a good team here. Also, young players. Good young players. There's definitely a good crop of talented young players coming up from Uruguay. Look, they should top this group. They should. I think the U.S. is a good team, but they're managed by Greg Berhalter, and that's it. That's what that comes down to. Should we talk about the U.S.? I'll talk about the U.S. How about that? This is the best, most talented U.S. men's national team of all time, like by some margin. Even though they got embarrassed the other day by Colombia, and I'll get into that. That entire team was Europe-based and played in good teams. We have Chris Richards, who is now a regular for Crystal Palace. We have Anthony Robinson, who was phenomenal, one of the best left backs in the Premier League last year. We have, in my opinion, a very talented right back and Long Island's finest, Joe Scally at right back, who plays for Borussia Mönchengladbach. And I think he's a phenomenal player and should have played more at the World Cup. But Greg Berhalter is a bum and a clown.
I think Berhalter fielded a whole team that plays in Europe again for the Brazil friendly, and they looked very good against Brazil. It was like night and day from Colombia to Brazil.
Tim Ream is pushing 40, and he looks like he's getting better. It's insane. Crazy story, Tim Ream. I'm not crazy about the goalies. I don't think that Turner is that great. I don't think Horvath is that great. In my opinion, I think that they should be looking at Chelsea's Gaga Slanina, who had a great year on loan at KAZ Eupen in Belgium. Even though he got relegated, he had a good season for himself. And it's honestly, if you're a goalie on loan and you're just trying to get minutes and stuff like that in Europe, it's low-key kind of good if your team's bad, because that means that you're facing more shots. You're getting more action. So, you're getting more acclimatized to the physicality of Europe. So he had a great season for himself. Even though he's on the Olympics roster, I think he deserves to be on this roster, because I don't think the U.S. has an overwhelmingly favorite for goalie. And I think he's a good player. He's only 20 years old, so Gaga Slanina should be in this lineup as a starting keeper, but I'm going to digress. We also have Johnny Cardozo, formerly of Internacional, born in New Jersey, but quickly moved back to Brazil when he was 3 months old. He got a big move in January to Real Betis and shined there, and he's a great defensive midfielder, holding six kind of guy, tall, can pass well. It seems like, he's the kind of guy who might be the starting holding six for the U.S. for the foreseeable future. Obviously, we got guys like Tyler Adams, who couldn't stay fit this year. We got Christian Pulisic. We got studs like Gio Reyna. Yunus Musa, who did not have a very good year with Milan, but you know what? He's still young. I still think he can improve. He has a lot of good tools. We got Florian Balogun, who, of course, he also did not have a great season at Monaco, but I still think he's talented. Got Ricardo Pepi, who had a decent season in the Netherlands. And we have obviously Weston McKennie, who had a decent year at Juventus and looks like he's about to be sold to Aston Villa in a swap deal with Douglas Luiz, who we'll probably touch on when we talk about Brazil. And Tim Weah, who was like a right back / right wing back for Juventus and played very well. So look, this is a good squad. There are good players in this squad, and I'm just talking about the starters there. I probably forgot a few guys, but this is a good U.S. team, and I think they're going to put in work in this tournament, despite the fact that their coach is a bum. I'm not a fan of Greg Berhalter. I think he screams mediocrity. I had a tweet that banged the other day. Banged. And I talked about how Greg Berhalter being the coach of the U.S. men's national team is like... Should I just pull up the tweet? I'll pull it up. I got you guys right now. I got you guys. Wait. I got to scroll down.
But do you still have the U.S. finishing first or just coming in second place and going through?
They're going to finish second, the U.S., because of Berhalter. That's what I'm thinking.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go for. Why can't I find this tweet now? Now I can't find the tweet. It's going to bother me. Who's the commissioner of the NBA?
Adam Silver?
Yeah. I said Greg Berhalter being the head coach of the U.S. men's national team is like if Adam Silver's brother got a job, or if Adam Silver's brother, played college basketball and he played in the G League for a little bit, but never really did anything, and then he just out of nowhere, he managed a G League team, and then he just got the job to coach. You could either say Team USA or maybe a lower to mid team in the NBA. I don't know, like the Hornets or something, like a not so great team. So Greg Berhalter basically has his job because his brother was high up in the USSF board or whatever. Yeah, not a good manager. Mediocrity personified. He's the reason why this group does not do well. He's a beta. Yeah, he's a beta. This group needs an alpha who's going to just push them and keep pushing them because they're young players. It's a very young squad. Very, very young squad. Most of the guys are sub 26. So they need a real leader, a guy with not just class, but guts and a backbone and some personality who's going to challenge them. And they don't have that. And so that's why they're not being guided the right way.
You just think that they're not being pushed, but they're just comfortable out on the field. There's no real drive in their game.
None. At least on the international level. I can't say the same thing about them at their clubs, but on the international level, there's way too much talent on this team for them to be where they are. That's my opinion. So yeah, I think that they could actually do really well in this tournament. I could even see this U.S. team getting into the semis.
Yeah, that wouldn't shock me.
Look, they're the fourth favorite for this tournament. The top five goes Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, USA, Colombia, and then I forget who the sixth favorite is. But regardless, this is a good U.S. team, despite what world football likes to joke around about and stuff. This is a good U.S. team, so I'm not buying that they're not good enough. I think it's time that they actually they overachieve a little bit because they just achieve the bare minimum, if that, with Greg Berhalter. So yeah, I think they'll finish second in this group. Short story long, right? And
so you think the coaching difference between Uruguay and the U.S. is why they're finishing where they're finishing?
Yes. I think the U.S. has more good players overall. The whole squad, deep, squad depth, than Uruguay. But Uruguay has world-class players. Again, Jimenez, Araujo. I forgot about Valverde.
I mentioned that earlier.
I'm going to backtrack on that. Okay, no, Uruguay is a better team. Better squad, more talent. The U.S. is not... This is what I'll say.
The U.S. is deeper?
No. The U.S. is not as far behind as people think, but the coaching will make them climb even more. That's what I'm going to say. I think the world has been tricked into thinking that the U.S. is not that great because of bad coaching. And really, it's not just on Greg, right? It's about the USSF and their gross mismanagement of this team. And this is actually something I'll probably get into later also. But, like, they're not being challenged. CONCACAF is not good enough for this team anymore. It's not a challenge. They used to always play easy friendlies. They're playing some tougher friendlies, obviously, this cycle with Germany and Brazil, who they just played, and Colombia too. Colombia is obviously no slouch.
But I feel like
no, they didn't play Germany.
This tournament will do them well though, since it's not a friendly. Every game matters, and it's against tougher competition than what they're used to.
This is a good
outside
start.
of like World Cup competition.
Yeah, 100%. I think that they should be in the Copa America more often, if not permanently. That's my opinion, because they're not being challenged in CONCACAF. I don't care about CONCACAF Gold Cup. I don't care about that. They need to be challenged more if they want to keep pushing. They need to get, the Greg Berhalter has no results against top teams except Mexico. I think it's like the top 20 or something like that.
I don't think he's won a game against a top 20 team outside of Mexico.
Yeah. That's the fact.
I think he's 0-7-1, and I think the one might be the draw against Brazil yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, and England probably at the World Cup. Which, honestly,
yeah.
England was asking to lose that game. You remember we saw that game? That was a snooze fest. England didn't even care about that game. So that game was there for the taking. But, of course, Greg Berhalter, mediocrity personified. This team is good enough. This team is strong enough. But they need to be pushed. They need to be put in positions to get better. And the USSF needs to get their heads out of their butts. And they need to put someone serious in power, because enough is enough. This team should be better, more recognized. There's talent here. There's so much talent coming out of the U.S. going to Europe. There's so much talent that isn't even in this squad that deserves to be in this squad. Some of the guys at the Olympics, some of the guys weren't called up. So it's like, in my opinion, it's a shame, and it's like the world is being tricked, like, oh, the U.S., blah, blah, blah. I love, like, all of the, soccer's not that big in the U.S., football's not that big in the U.S. Not true. That's, like, completely false. And I don't think I've ever felt like football hasn't been big in the U.S., based on where we grew up. But, like, just now the squad is talented. The U.S. teams used to not be nearly as talented, but they would get results. They beat Spain in the Confederations Cup, a team that wasn't even half as talented. And that was Spain, who were the Euro champions and would go on to be the world champions, Like, there's just not enough dogs in this team, or there's not enough good coaching, good what's the word? Good management that's going to push these guys to become dogs on the international level. They just seem too comfortable. They're not being challenged. They're being babied. So that's my rant on the U.S. Oh, and you know what? I might as well go into it. I made a tweet. I went to war with Colombian fans the other day after the U.S. lost 5-1. I commented under Tactical Manager's tweets. He's a pretty big Twitter page. He talks about the U.S. He's a Brazilian dude in Florida. He's from Long Island, actually. I basically said that, the result is embarrassing, the U.S. losing 5-1 to Colombia, because I think, in my opinion, the squad is more talented than Colombia's. And honestly, I stand corrected, and I'm going to be correct, and I can't wait. I can't wait to be right about this. And I was getting flamed by people. I was getting flamed. Some guy tried telling me that Colombia was miles better than the U.S., or the talent was miles better than the U.S. I said that they were more talented. I didn't say they were a better team. I think Colombia is probably a better team because they're well coached. They have experience, and again, they're dogs. They have talented players like Luis Diaz. They have Asprilla, who plays on Watford, and they have John Duran, obviously, who plays on Aston Villa, who I think is a good player. But, like, other than that, they don't really have that many good players. They really don't. Not a lot of talent there. And they trend really old. And I was getting flamed by Colombian fans saying, oh, this is why Americans, blah, blah. Mind you, I'm Greek, so I'm not even, like, USA first. Like, Greece is my number one team. And they depress me. So let me at least watch the U.S. try to, like, actually gain some sort of sense of happiness from an international team. But anyway, people tell me, oh, you don't know footy. Oh, clueless Americans. I had someone tell me, stick to NFL. I don't even watch football. I don't even watch the NFL. But anyway, so I was getting flamed, everything in Spanish. The Lord knows what they called me in Spanish. I'm going to be proven right because I still don't think that this Colombia team is good. They're definitely not 5-1 better than the U.S. But again, I said talent. The U.S. has more talent. The Colombia is probably better coached. Obviously, they're third in CONMEBOL right now. They're doing well. But, just for my hate watching now, I hope that they drop, just so I could be proven right. And I will be proven right, by the way. This is my hot take. Ecuador will be better than Colombia in 3 years' time. By the time, not even 3. By the time the World Cup comes around. Ecuador will be a better team than Colombia. More talent coming through, younger talent. The talent trends younger. What you need to look at with new generations is the age of the players coming up. Colombia, experienced, they have some good players, but Ecuador, younger and getting stronger with better players. So, I went to war with the Colombians on Twitter. I'm going to win that war, but it's a long-term war. Maybe I lost the battle because I got ratioed by some guy who tried telling me that Colombia is miles more talented, which is factually incorrect. Not true. But whatever. It's fine because they came at me like the bots, like the Turkish bots. Whenever you talk about Turkey on like social media and you get like 500 comments, that's what it felt like I was getting at. They were coming at me. It's okay though. It's all right. I got this. I'm built for this. Yeah, I'm done now.
I mean, now
I'm gonna win that war.
I mean, they kind of dipped into Colombia, and they're actually in the last group. Do you want to just finish off the last group?
Uruguay, U.S.
No, the last group.
No. Uruguay.
Okay.
First, USA second.
He was about to say Panama, and I saw the disgust on his face.
Bolivia third, Panama fourth.
Oh, that was
canal between Bolivia and Panama.
That was almost disrespectful, but
a canal between Bolivia and Panama. Panama finishes on 0 points. Bolivia has 3.
Wow.
They don't know how altitude tax for them. All right, anyway, so now moving on to my hate watch of the tournament. Enemy number 1 of the Colombian people, Pano.
You have them finishing last in the group?
No, they'll finish second.
Oh, we still have them going through. Okay.
They're gonna lose their first knockout game.
Oh. So that's when you're really gonna start hate watching when it gets to the knockout stages?
I'm gonna be hate watching them the whole tournament.
Wow.
You know that clip of Escobar in Narcos? It's like and he's like smoking. He's just like thinking about
this guy
things.
explained the scene out of every episode.
No, like the one where he's like smoking and he's just kind of taking it all in.
Yes.
That's gonna be me.
Pool?
Maybe. No, I wasn't it like a field?
Maybe, I don't know.
I'm gonna find this now.
It's a scene in every episode.
Yeah, probably. Do you want to read out the group for me?
Brazil,
Yeah.
Colombia,
Uh-huh.
Costa Rica, Paraguay.
Okay. How about you tell me?
It's pretty straightforward that we both have Brazil topping the group.
I'm trying to find the scene. Oh, wait, I like this. But actually, when they finish second, this is going to be me. The one of him on the swing. That's a good meme.
It is.
Um,
I'm not going to lie, though. This Brazil team is so unimpressive. It's like, I've never seen a big international team being led by a mid-star player on the international stage.
Vinny?
I think Vinny is so mid, and he's supposed to be their leader, their best player, the guy who's going to be there for the big moments, creating chances. I like all his matches on the international stage are just so mid. I watched the US Brazil friendly, and he wasn't really like creating much, wasn't doing anything too dangerous. It just seemed like he was going steady with the game, and whatever like was presented to him, he would like attempt to do something, but there was nothing like creative coming from him himself, you know? Like all the other big clubs around the world always have a star player that they can count on to create something, score a goal late, or like just perform game in and game out. Like Neymar, when he was at Brazil, he would always produce magic at any given moment, even against Croatia in the World Cup, which they ended up losing in penalties. Messi for Argentina. You go over to Europe, you had Ronaldo for so many years, Portugal, Mbappe for France. You have all these big players on these big international stages pulling through, putting the team on their shoulders every now and then. But I don't think Vinny has it in him with this Brazil squad, and I think he's just been so below par, like very mid. He's almost like the opposite of James Rodriguez, where James wasn't really a great club player and great on the international stage, and Vinny's great for Madrid, but like huge fall off for Brazil. And I think that's the reason I don't. They're obviously going to go through in the group finish first, but I just don't see them really like having a real shot. I don't care that they're the second biggest favorites to win the tournament. I think it's just I think they're on fraud watch, especially Vinny.
This is still a really good team though.
Good team, but I think over the years the Brazil team has progressively gotten worse.
You think that Uruguay does better than this team?
Yeah, I think
you're bugging.
I think
you're
Uruguay
bugging.
has a shot.
You are bugging. No way.
No, yes
no
way.
way. No way.
Yes.
You see the talent on this team?
Again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't come through. You're being led by an average guy.
Savio just had an amazing season at Girona, and earned a move to Man City. Well, they sold to themselves. Whatever. Jan Couto is a right back. He also had a phenomenal season at Girona, and Brazil has been desperate for a good right back for so long. He's been a good right back at Girona. They have guys like Bruno Guimaraes, who I think is a baller. They have great gamblers like Lucas Paqueta.
He's going to be more obsessed with getting a yellow in the 89th minute. Give me a break. This team's a mess. This team's a disaster.
Come on, bro. You're telling me
that's going to be my pick for the tournament. Not even a hot take. It's just a pick. Uruguay will go further than Brazil this tournament.
Paqueta's going to be the guy that you want, though, because in the middle of the game, when you feel like...
He's going to pick up the second yellow for his friends to cash out, and Brazil's going to be down a guy.
When you feel like the tide is changing, though, he's going to know which way the line is moving. So he'll know. He'll be like, yo, guy.
For his own pockets, not for his team.
He's going to start fading himself. But, obviously, you have guys like Douglas Luiz, Aston Villa.
You could always
going to go to Juve.
You could always look at the Brazil teams. They always have a great team on paper, but
Marquinhos, Militao
fall short of the results.
Militao just won a Champions League. Did he start though? He didn't play, did he? Or did he?
He might have got subbed on late, I think.
Because he was hurt, right? Didn't he hurt himself this year?
I'm not quite sure what the story was, but I think he came on very late.
What about your boy Rafinha?
I think he's a good player, but again, it's if the team struggles and the best player can't get them going or push the team a little to a higher level, I think it doesn't matter.
Martinelli's mid.
They're gonna run into a team that's just gonna figure them out, and they're gonna be struggling because Vinny is mid AF.
You think Vinny goes through? I mean, I'm sorry, not Vinny. You think Endrick does well?
I think he'll get playing time. I don't know how much he'll get. I don't know how much playing time, but I could see him being, I guess, like the bright spot for this Brazil team. With Rodrigo, Vinny, and Rafinha up top, I think he'll be able to get a good amount of minutes late in games, especially in the group stage games. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think he'll be the bright spot, I guess, for this Brazil front three. I think Vinny's gonna let them down.
But it's Endrick though.
Yeah, solid player. Look somewhat dangerous against the U.S. Very quick, But again, that's a friendly. He's not dealing with the crazy tackles in Copa America, and who knows how much time he actually gets and whatnot.
I mean, I touched a little bit on obviously on this team. I touched a little bit on this Colombia team. How do you see them doing in this tournament?
I think Colombia's going to be, I think, very similar to what you said. I think they're going to be, they're going to get out of the group.
Oh, they have Jefferson Lerma. I forgot about him. He's, a solid player. Crystal Palace, good player. Oh, and Santiago Munoz, who had a great season for Crystal Palace also. So they do have some good guys. Oh, yeah, you know what? Okay, let me highlight some guys now. How about this? One of their starting center backs, Lukumi, he played for Bologna. He had a great season. Obviously, Bologna earned the Champions League this year. Had a very good season with Bologna. They have guys like Davinson Sanchez, who's still playing, for Galatasaray in Europe and stuff. They have Johan Mojica, who's a left back from Osasuna. They got Lerma. They still have James, who, I'm sorry, but if James Rodriguez is starting for your team in 2024, it's kind of concerning to me. This is not 2014. 2014 was 10 years ago. The James train has sailed. I'm going to say that too. I still think they'll finish second in this group though. Because of what I said. They have good established experienced players.
They're gonna come out of the group, but I feel like they're gonna struggle in the knockout stages.
You agree they'll finish second though, right?
Yeah.
So you think Brazil finishes first?
Brazil first, yeah.
I just did a FOTMOB predictor quickly while you were talking, because, that's just me, because, yeah. And based on my predictions, right, who I have finishing where, but no matter what, because we agree on the same thing, if Brazil finishes first in their group and USA finishes second, Brazil plays the USA in the first round.
That's going to be a little interesting.
Uruguay plays Colombia, Ecuador plays Canada, and Argentina plays Venezuela.
Who plays Colombia?
Uruguay.
That's tough. That's a tough first round. And going back to the USA-Brazil potential knockout stage matchup, I think the U.S. looked like a little better than Brazil yesterday in the friendly. It's just a friendly, I know.
It's just a friendly, yeah.
But it's still promising to bounce back after losing 5-1 and being humiliated to that. So I feel like it's going to be... Don't overlook that U.S. team at home, basically, against Brazil in a potential knockout stage matchup. That might be the team to give them problems. You never know. But, yeah, I just don't think the Brazil team deserves to be the second favorite. I think it's too much hype carrying them to that spot.
The USA's on the tough side. They're on the tough side of the bracket. Argentina has the easy side, from what I'm seeing. Argentina, they don't really have much good teams to play. Like, I think it's a straight shot for Argentina to the final, from what it looks like. I have here, based on what I predicted, Argentina versus Ecuador in the semis, and then Uruguay, USA.
In the semis. So you think their quarterfinal matchup was just going to be a walkthrough?
Who, Argentina?
Yeah.
They're going to play Venezuela.
According to your predictions?
Oh, yeah, according to my predictions, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I would have them beating Mexico, too. Yeah, so I think Brazil being on the tougher side of the bracket, too, doesn't help them. And it might come down to a Uruguay-Brazil matchup to prove me right that Uruguay goes further.
Or if USA finishes first, I think they play Colombia.
Yeah. If Colombia finishes second.
If Colombia finishes second, I hope they don't.
Where do you hope they finish?
Last. Yo, if it comes down to me, USA, Colombia, oh my gosh. I'm going to be the biggest Greg Berhalter fan in the entire world that day.
Okay, I have a couple questions for you. Your favorite to win the tournament?
Argentina.
Okay, if you can't pick Argentina, your favorite?
Like, is this like who I think will win, or are we doing dark horses?
No, who do you think will win outside of Argentina?
Brazil.
Okay. I agree with you on the Argentina, but if I can't pick Argentina, I'm going Uruguay.
I just realized we talked about Argentina, and I feel like you didn't even speak about them. It was all me. And you're the Messi boy. You're the Messi fangirl.
I'm not a Messi fangirl. I'm a Messi fanboy.
Anyway. Yeah, I didn't let you get a word in on that. Is Messi any good?
Messi's the GOAT.
Okay, so I guess that settles it. That's all we gotta say.
He's not mid for his national team.
I could think about a guy who might drag his national team down if he starts for them.
Who's that?
Ronnie? If he starts for Portugal, it's chalked for them. This isn't the Euros episode. Why are we talking about this? Anyway.
I have another question for you.
Yeah.
Top scorer of the tournament.
Lionel Messi.
It's a good shout. It's actually a great shout. I honestly would have to agree. I mean, the guy takes the free kicks, penalties, and he could just score from in play.
And then close second, John Duran. I'm just kidding. He plays for Colombia.
Who's your second?
My second? If I had to pick another one, it's tough. Darwizzi.
Wow, I actually agree.
Darwizzi, baby. Yo, we're still big on Darwizzi. I don't care how much hate he gets, bro. I'm still part of the Darwizzi hive. I don't care if I don't like Liverpool. I really hate Liverpool, but yeah.
So, I mean, player of the tournament, since you think Argentina's going to win and Messi's going to be the top scorer, it has to be him, no?
Julian Alvarez.
Wow.
Lionel Messi. The farewell tour continues. All right. I got a question for you. Dark horse.
Oh, man, dark horse. Outside of the top 5, would you consider a dark horse?
Yeah, sure.
Outside of the top 5. To be a dark horse, I'm going to go Ecuador.
I was going to pick Ecuador. Yo, I sold Ecuador for you. I definitely sold Ecuador.
I had them finishing the top of the group.
I think they're so good, bro. They had some guy, Kendry Paez. He comes from this club. I guess they're like the best club in Ecuador called Independiente de Valle, whatever that I just told you about. 2 things about them that's interesting. 1, they just sold another guy to Dortmund, a striker who's supposed to be a bowler. 2, when Moises Caicedo got bought by Chelsea, they had a 25% sell-on clause with Brighton. So they used like the 30 million, whatever it was, that they got paid for by Brighton for the sell-on to build a whole new training facility. They built a whole new training facility. That's the best team in Ecuador, bro. We're on the come up, baby. Ecuador's on the come up. Let's go. Let's get it. I grew up with a lot of Ecuadorians in Queens, so I have a soft spot for them. And I also grew up with a lot of Colombians in Queens, and I'm gonna hate watch them this tournament. Fun fact for you guys: Ecuador. No, I'm sorry, not Ecuador. Colombia was in the same group as the U.S. in the 2014 World Cup, and Greece lost what 2-0? 2-0 to them in the first game.
U.S. and Colombia.
Oh, did I say the U.S.? Yeah. Oof, that's bad. Greece was in the same group as Colombia in the 2014 World Cup, and yeah. So I made a bet with my friends at school. I was in high school then. I was a junior. I made a bet with them that if Greece won, then my friends or one of my friends would have to wear a Greece jersey for an entire day. And if Colombia won, then I had to do the same thing. So yeah. Obviously I lost and I had to wear a Colombia jersey. There's a photo of me wearing a Colombia jersey somewhere. But hey, we still went through. We still went through the group. We finished second. And we should have beat Costa Rica. Keylor Navas. He needs to thank Greece for giving him a career, because if it wasn't for that penalty shootout, that guy doesn't go to Real Madrid and win a few Champions Leagues. So you're welcome, Keylor Navas. Do we have his team doing anything? Weren't they in the last group?
Yeah.
We don't have him doing anything though, right? Or does Paraguay finish last? We didn't even go over that.
Costa Rica finishes. I mean, there's nothing really much to say, to be honest.
Does Keylor Navas even play anymore for Costa Rica? Is he in the squad?
I don't think so, but I think Paraguay finishes third. Just a little unlucky to be put in that group, to be honest.
Keylor Navas is not on this team. Anyway, yeah, Costa Rica doesn't really have anyone. Not that Paraguay has so many people either, but yeah. Do we have anything else to go over?
No, I think we covered it all.
Did we cover it all though? Did we cover it all?
Oh, but you did make that promise to me. If Argentina make it to the final, you would get me tickets.
Nah, I didn't do that.
Oh, you see, this guy's a liar.
What games are at MetLife?
I think the final's at MetLife.
Thank you. I mean, other games.
Well, that's the only one I'm like focused on because you said you were gonna give me free tickets. So
You want to go somewhere for it? Do you want to like go to a state? You want to travel? You got vacation days, right? No, I'm being serious. Are there any? Where's Argentina playing? Where are they based?
I have no idea.
I got you right now. Okay, I just looked up Copa America games. Oh, Chile versus Argentina, June 25th. I'm gonna be gone that day. Uruguay versus Bolivia, June 27th. And that's it. There's only 2 games?
And the final, no?
That's stupid. Where does Argentina play? Wouldn't you want to watch Argentina?
You're getting me tickets, guy.
I'm not getting you tickets. I ain't getting you anything.
Now. Come on.
What do you mean? Argentina versus Canada. Where is it? You want to go to Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium? Argentina, Peru. Hard Rock. Miami. Yo, we out to Miami. We out. Let's go. You don't want to go?
Might go to a game. Might pop out. Don't know yet.
You got vacation days? This guy Dimitri always works. He's always working. That's why we took a 6-month hiatus from the podcast. He was working.
No. That's misleading.
Is this episode done?
I think we covered everything.
Ecuador dark horse. USA is my second dark horse. Greg Berhalter out.
And we're out.
My name is Columbia Hate Watcher.
And I'm Dimitri, aka Juicy.
Greg Berhalter out. And we're out of here.